Is it worth it? We will find out here in just a minute. Is it just a nice dining experience, or is it a good steakhouse? Or is it your next Texas Roadhouse? About to find out. We were on an 11-day cruise from Virgin Voyages on the Resilient Lady, one of their newest ships, and we have all the details about their specialty dining. The Wake is their inclusive steakhouse that's on board the Resilient Lady, and some tips that we want to talk about today is how good it was and what is some things they can improve on. Things that I liked about Virgin specifically was that you can book the specialty dining at the same time as the check-in, which is a few months ahead. And trust me, if you want to go to the steakhouse on board any of the Virgin cruises, you want to book ahead, especially on sea days when the restaurants are full capacity. Some of the things that I really liked about this specialty dining steakhouse was the atmosphere. As soon as you walk in, you go down this beautiful staircase with this massive chandelier, and it's overlooking this seating area as you wait for your table. It may took us 5 minutes after we checked in to be seated. So after we were seated, it was a beautiful table that had candlelight. It was a candlelight dinner. It was very intimate and very elevated experience that made you feel like you were at some very fancy steakhouse, which that's what they were going for, right? It wanted to be something intimate. And then when you're at your table, you don't feel like you're really close to everybody on this specific dining area. You were kind of seated farther apart from other people, which was nice. They had somebody come to refill your water. That was not your waiter. Somebody was just checking waters at the table. Then they give you bread with butter that is there immediately when you sit down. You look up and there's these bronze bells that my husband calls nipples at the top of the ceiling, which was really cool. It gave it like a, fancy feel modern vibe. We ate here twice, and one of the things that we didn't get to experience during our dining was that we weren't seated near one of the windows that were overlooking the ocean. We didn't get one of those tables. However, because we ate there twice, I would highly recommend this restaurant. The atmosphere alone would I recommend this restaurant. And then the service is always something you consider when going to a nice elevated restaurant. And I will say the service was one of the best here at this steakhouse. They were quick to take our orders. They brought us a menu of the wine and also the cocktails, as well as your menu that was seated, of course, when you got there. We were in and out both times in about an hour, which is fantastic for a steakhouse. Of course, the most important part is the food. We cannot forget the food in a fancy, elevated dining experience. And so, first off, I want to say is when I am reviewing a steakhouse, of course you go to the steak, right? It's a steakhouse. So how good was the steak? Well, I will tell you that my first night I had the filet and it came out cold, which that just kind of puts a sour taste in my mouth. But the filet itself was fantastic. It was tender, juicy, it had great flavor. It was just cold was my biggest takeaway. They bring you bread immediately when you're seated with a little thing of butter, and so that's nice to have like an appetizer as you're waiting on your meal, which again, the meal didn't take long. Some of the starters that I had was the clam chowder. Let's be real, I had it twice. I love clam chowder. They give it to you in this teeny little bit of like a pour cup, and you pour it into your dish. Actually, they pour it for you. My husband had the bone marrow. He did not like this. So he said it was supposed to be on bread. I don't know, I've never had bone marrow, but he wouldn't recommend. They have an extra charge for if you want oysters or lobster or something maybe that you wouldn't typically get just from the free inclusive meal that they're offering. We didn't do any of that, so I can't give any advice on that. They had salmon, they had filet, which me and my husband both got. His was warm, Mine was not the first time, but the second it was. So my husband got the lamb chop, which I don't eat lamb, but he said it was pretty good. I think if he were to do it over again, he probably would have got the steak just because of how well it was seasoned. Like I said, the second time I got my filet, it was perfect. They also come around asking what type of sauce that you want for your steak. If you're like me, I don't need sauce for my steak. If it's seasoned well and it's grilled to perfection, like most steakhouses are, you don't need the sauces. Highly recommend the steak, or at least the filet. The asparagus, both times, it was seasoned, crunchy, buttery, everything you would want in asparagus. It didn't come out flimsy or, you know, overcooked. It was great. Husband got the cream spinach. He said it was very creamy. He ordered it 2 times in a row, so I think that he probably really liked it. Seasoned well. I got the twice baked potato, and it was pretty good. I'm not a huge twice baked potato fan, but it was pretty good. So overall, I would say their sides was complimentary to the steak. At least I can say that about the asparagus and the cream spinach. We did not get dessert. We just weren't really feeling up to it, and honestly, the desserts didn't look that great, so we kind of opted out of that, which helped with the time that we spent in the restaurant too, being in and out in an hour. Overall, I really liked this restaurant. In fact, I wish we could have eaten there probably at least half of the nights out of our cruise. It tasted very good. The food was good. The service was good. The drinks were good. The bathroom was close to the seating area, which is always really important if you're drinking any type of alcohol or if you're trying to stay hydrated with water, as I was. I would highly recommend this restaurant, especially being all included with your cruise fare. I give it a 9 out of 10. One of the cons maybe is that you were kind of in a tighter space. The restaurant did not have a lot of tables, so you were closer to people but still further away from the other restaurants. My steak was cold the first time, so I didn't know if I really wanted to go back, but I'm really glad I did because it was great the second. And then the last con I will say is the dessert menu. It was really kind of lacking in variety, I thought. Of course, we didn't order dessert, so I can't speak to how it was, but just based off of the variety, we didn't really feel that it would have been any good. So if you like it, please comment below, like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll continue with more content. Mic check 1, 2, 3.
Good job. Let me take a listen to it.
Stop it. I wasn't ready.
Oh, sorry.
I'm rambling. Hold on. I gotta go back and think about this. It was... Pause it again.
You can pause it like right here.
Cruise line. Their cruise ships. Liked it, right? Did you like it?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It's pretty good.
We'll redo the
Okay.
Everybody thinks that this restaurant's fancy, but all it is a bunch of bronze nipples on the ceiling. I swear to God, that's what it looks like. It's a bunch of bronze nipples.